Hey, Cleaning Nation, Mike Campion here with the amazing, the lovely Jenell Noel. And today we are going to talk about, I won't say something near and dear to my heart, but something really important. Having coached, for a decade in this space and owned businesses for the last 30 years, I found a through line for people who have larger businesses, like a big kind of shared trait is the people, what it takes to knock you off your horse or make you wobble, has a lot to do with the kind of ceiling that you're going to hit. Um, if you look at kind of well-known figures, I know Elon's very politicized right now, but he went through a ton of crazy stuff, like almost bankrupt several times, sleeping in the office, like doing just crazy, crazy stuff. So love him or hate him, he can have a big business because I would imagine what it takes to get him, gosh dang it, if you look what he's going through now, like just the amount of pressure, whether you feel it's due or undue, the ability to still run kind of some of the world's most valuable companies under that is huge. And I've just seen people that are doing 10 grand a month. It takes very little to knock them off their space, and it might knock them off for a long time. And someone doing $100,000 a month, it takes a lot more and they recover more quickly. And people doing $1 million a month and $10 million a month, really, we just get paid to solve bigger and bigger problems. So our ability to do that has a lot to do with not only kind of the limit or the choke point we're going to have, but equally, if not more importantly, how we experience the business, right? Even if we are able to grow a large business, but we're miserable or stressed out all the time or hate it, I get a lot of people that come to me, even at small businesses, that are like, I just want to sell the goddamn thing, right? They're just not experiencing it right. My goal is always, not only do we want to help you make more money, do all that, but we want to get you to be like, why would I sell this? It's amazing. So all that to say, today we are going to talk about how to, I think Jenell said it perfect. I'm going to try and knock it off. You can correct me. How to keep that CEO energy even when you kind of want to curl up in a ball and cry, which is when, I always say workouts count double when you don't feel like going. You being a big boy or big girl counts double when you really just want to be like, I can't. When everyone else gives up and crumples and you go moving forward, that's kind of where the growth happens, fortunately or unfortunately. So that said, really excited to hear more. Jenell, I'll turn it over to you and heckle as I see fit.
All right. So this is the stuff that we see in our clients, right? So an example, wonderful example, right? So one of our clients was training up actually one of her employees to do some group interviews and had a group interview just go sideways and somebody kind of freak out and start yelling at her. Well,
somebody being one of the people attending.
One of the interviewees. Yeah. So now you've got this interviewer who is new to this process and maybe doesn't have the confidence facing off with somebody who's yelling at them. Well, what happens is our body receives that as an attack.
Right? And really quick, let me just give for people that aren't resonating, because I want everyone to be, because this is going to be really important. You get a bad review, an employee quits, an employee gives you a bad review, a customer says you suck and starts bad talking you, an employee quits and takes some customers. You find out you got a $50,000 tax bill you didn't know. You can't make payroll Friday. Just want to get everyone on board who's like, well, that's kind of a weird example. I know, but fill in your blank. Yeah. I'm sure I got everybody with at least one of those if you own a cleaning company. All right. Now that we're in this space, what do we do, Jenell?
Yeah. Or you have to fire somebody. Boy, that's a big one too.
Perfect one. Or raise prices on a client or fire a client. We can
go on. Boy, the list is long. But what happens is that our nervous system often perceives those instances as an attack, a physical threat to our well-being. Well, our nervous system is designed to respond, right? So what happens? We go to fight, flight, or freeze. Our nervous system kind of takes control and shuts the brain down, and we go into reaction, right? Reactive mode. And it's in that tiny moment where we you feel it physically in your body, right? You can really feel the tension often in his throat or the chest or the stomach. Like when we feel it in our body, when our body is actually like flooding our systems with adrenaline, when we're like getting ready to fight, flight, or freeze, our CEO brain has this wonderful ability to recognize like the body is winding up. It's like you can hear the plane engine revving up for takeoff. Wait a minute. Okay, this is often not going to give me a great outcome. So, what do you do? Right? What do you do? Well, we can actually turn that engine off in a couple of different ways. One is just to stop and take a really good deep breath, maybe even a couple, and not just from the chest, from the belly, right? Because you want to flood your system with fresh oxygen, really oxygenate your blood, which calms the body down, like literally calms our nervous system down and puts fresh blood up in our brain and allows our brain to say, wait, 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 wait. The CEO can stay in the conversation, right? So, first step, just take a big, giant, good, deep breath and settle.
And before you move on to second, I'm really glad you went into the physiology of that, Jenell, because I feel like that's one of those things where we've heard so often. Like people will even say it, I don't say hypothetically, but what's it called when you don't, not literally, but what's the opposite of literally? Uh, anyway, they'll say like take a deep breath, like metaphorically. Like I don't mean you physically to take a deep breath. So we kind of hear sometimes like, yeah, like I've heard, but we don't do it. So that really just and giving in like three or four and take 5 or 10 seconds. I'm glad that you went into the physiology so people aren't hearing like take a deep breath is take a beat or count to 10 or like no.
No.
Physically take much your brain needs oxygen at this point. Your heart needs to slow down. Like I don't know where I learned this, but I've tested it ever since. You cannot cry while you're drinking water. Like physically impossible. You will stop. So the same thing comes with taking a deep breath. I don't want you to hear just like take a deep breath, take a beat. Like she doesn't mean physically take a deep breath, or I could just take one breath, or like no. Physically, it will change your body and your ability to deal with the situation. So I'm just hitting it
Yeah.
because I think a lot of people are hearing like heard it, done it, lock it down. Don't need to really like what's get on to step number two. Like no. Step number one is really a big deal. Physical deep breaths. Take 5 or 10 seconds, even if you feel like you look like an idiot, and if you really feel self conscious, just tell the person, you know what? I feel I'm feeling a little funky right now. Give me 2 or 3 seconds to take a deep breath. It's that big of a deal, even if you feel like you look stupid. You know what makes you look stupid is yelling or running or racing or doing crazy stuff.
Yeah. Well, and we all breathe. So a lot of times you may think, oh my gosh, I just look ridiculous taking a really, like literally breathing in, but everybody breathes. And most people don't notice that you've just taken a bigger breath than not. The other thing that we want to do is grounding. Now, I know this kind of gets a little into like the woo-woo sounding stuff, but when we put our attention onto our body and we feel our feet on the ground and sort of do this really quick survey of the body. Okay, ground feet are on the ground, working up. Yep, everything is aligned. I'm connected to the earth all the way up. By the time you get to your head, it takes like a second to do this. So after you've put good fresh oxygen in your brain, you do this. Feet are on the ground. I'm in my body. We also are realigning. This is a really kind of a tricky thing. We're realigning to present time awareness. So often that nervous system reaction is responding to something in the past has happened like this, and I'm anticipating in the future something. So we've learned responses, right? And so and we're carrying that forward into this moment. So again, we're gearing our engine up because we think, the zombies are on the edge of the runway. We got to get the engine on the plane going. When in fact, maybe not so. So when I take that deep breath, I put fresh oxygen in my brain. I slow my heart rate down. I can sort of trigger my adrenaline to not flood quite so much. Now I'm paying attention to my body in this moment. Feet are on the ground, even if I'm sitting, put your awareness on your feet, what they're connected to, survey the body. Now, I'm in the present time awareness. And again, this allows your CEO brain to say, wait a minute, okay, in this moment, what's really happening? What's really happening? And when we get to ask that kind of a question, we have control of the situation. And so now we can go into the next step, which is what what do I need to do in this moment to have this work in a way that is going to be the best possible outcome?
So as we transition kind of into the first part, I want to make sure people get this in a global way, not just for this. We're very used to our body responding to outside stimulus. So for those of you guys who have watched, it's an old show called Arrested Development, really funny. And they have a guy, they do this sad music when either of the men, the father or the son, they get heartbroken by a woman. They put their head down and their shoulders slump and they play the sad wah wah music and they just slowly walk away. And my wife and I will do that to one another. When we're sad, we'll just put the head down, walk away. It's all very pitiful. And the funny thing is, we all know how that guy's feeling, right? We're not like, did he just win the lottery? Did he burn his finger? Like, how is he feel? Like, we know immediately how he's feeling. So it's very natural for us to let our body follow our emotions, right? This, I think Jenell's going to punch me or yell at me or call me a name or hurt my feelings or threaten me or whatever negative thing I think Jenell's going to do. You'll see my body. Maybe I puff up to be aggressive. Maybe I crump, you'll see the body. And we all get that, but we never reverse it, which is what Jenell's having you do. If I want to feel a different way, if you're depressed, go in front of the mirror and smile at yourself like an idiot for 30 seconds. Jenell's laughing just because she's like, that's a ridiculous thing. And you will laugh and you will feel better, period. So we get my body responds to outside stimulus, and that can affect my mood, but we never do it on purpose. I will change my body if I put my shoulders down and chest out and kind of sit up tall. I feel different than the crumpled, wah, wah, wah I feel. So I want to encourage you in all situations in life. You don't just have to have your feelings respond to how your body is comported. You can comport your body to align with the way that you want to feel. So this is a big meta tool that you can use as long as you occupy a body. So if and when you leave your body, I can't vouch, but inside the body, you can make yourself feel a different way by the way you comport your face, your body. And I love that you're giving people the tools to do that intentionally before we go into the mind, right? Because if the body's a mess, if I'm terrified I'm going to die, you're like, what's the best situation right now? It's like, I can't think of anything but not die. I've got so much adrenaline, not much I can do with it. So just wanted to give a fuller picture of this tool can be used in a lot of places, not just here.
Yeah. And I'm choosing one direction or one kind of tool to use the body to settle inside of a situation where we're hit with that thing. Mm-hmm. Right? We're definitely hit with that thing. And so I'm using it as a reaction correction tool. That's kind of what this is, right? And our body, it's so often we just use it as a response mechanism, right? Like I said, we often can gauge what's happening based on what's happening in our body because it's the analog indicator, right? It's the analog indicator of what's really happening up here in our own version of digital. And so if we calm the body and we put ourselves, like we relax the body, our brain can now it can engage. It comes out of reaction and it can engage. But you're absolutely right. You can also use the body in an anticipatory way, right? So I don't know how many coaches I've heard it from, go stand in Superman pose. If you're going into a situation that you don't have confidence, go put your body in that really confident head up, chin up, shoulder back, strong pose. Go do it for 3 minutes. It feels like an eternity, but God bless it. You come out and you feel like, yeah, you could leap tall buildings in a single bound, right? We can use our body to move our feelings. Mm-hmm.
Mike Camping here. Do you ever listen to the podcast and go, this is great information, I just wish I could actually get it implemented and I wish I could get some help? Well, we do that. If you would like either myself or my team's help actually coming up with a plan that's specialized to you and your business, because with these podcasts, obviously we have to be very general and we can only go 20 minutes at a time. If you'd like to jump on a call with myself or my team, go to growmycleaningcompany.com/talk. We'll jump on a call. There's no charge. And we'll help you get some absolute clarity around exactly what to do next and how to do it. The reason we don't charge for these calls is the plan that we come up with, people want help implementing that. If that's the case, we're happy to talk about it. And if it's not, that's okay too. We're happy to just help you come up with a plan. So if you want to translate the information you're learning here into an actual plan that can change your life, give us a ring, growmycleaningcompany.com/talk. Love to either myself or have one of our coaches walk you through and actually personalize the content you get here to where you're at with your business. Talk soon.
Right. So I think it's so often overlooked, especially in business, because we get so much in our heads. We are so much in our what's next, do this, do that, what's next, and we're reacting. We're reacting. Whereas the CEO, gosh, really great leaders, you watch them, but they just tend to be more grounded, more in the moment, more in control with their CEO brain. And you're right, less sways them, right? Because when we're in our head, our body is just responding out here like a jellyfish. But when we're in our bodies, gosh, I can't be moved. Right. And so I think it's a really great tool, especially if you're on that next, like you said, we kind of reach these ceilings in our business. There's a couple of different thresholds that we see. Oh, I'm building a team. I'm building a bigger team. I'm stepping out of management into CEO. There's a couple of different places where we just have triggers and our body we don't know really, right? The unexpected opens us up to, I call it the vulnerability of the past, right? And so in those moments to have tools like, wait a minute, I don't know what this moment I'm going into is. Let me just take a couple of deep breaths, not like, hey, chill, dude, take a deep breath, but really a couple of great deep breaths, put that oxygen in my body, just kind of do this survey. I like top or bottom to top because okay, now I'm here, so this thing can engage. All of a sudden, it just gets easier, right?
So once you've got your body, I don't say under control, but certainly not leading the charge with, I'm just so freaked out, I can do anything. What's the next step? We're starting to move into the CEO decision-making part, but I got so excited about the body. I don't want to get too far off track. So hit us with step 2, if you would.
Yeah, it is to take that moment. I like the question, what's happening here? What is really going on? Right? So, because at that moment you've noticed something's going on, right? My body is feeling like it's in the swirl. Okay, calm down. So what's really going on? And when we ask questions like that, we're coaching ourselves, right? We're inviting the CEO brain to actually step in and answer.
Or the monkey mind, depending on the question. We're inviting someone. It doesn't always have to be the CEO, depending on what's really going on. What would I like to see happen? How do I best effectuate that? CEO questions. Monkey mind. Why is Jenell freaking out? Why does this always happen to me? What happens if she punches me? What if I lose face forever and lose that? We can definitely access different things, and that getting your body to where you need it to be, I think, is going to give you access to the questions that you need to ask, as opposed to the default questions, which I'm going to die or what happens if, which are anti-CEO.
Right. And again, that's where we have to train ourselves, right? We have to practice these questions. We have to practice using these questions, addressing them to ourselves. But what's really going on here? I think is just really powerful, because what's really going on here is, well, okay, that person over there is having something, or I'm walking into this situation and I don't know what's really going to happen, or I have this hard decision to make, or this hard message to communicate. And I don't know what is going to happen. we don't want to fill that in with a bunch of dread and worry. We
Mhm.
want to have our brain trained to kind of be rational and thoughtful through it.
Well, we're going to fill in the future blanks with something.
Mm-hmm.
I just think if we did it more intentionally, again, the I'm going to fire this employee and he's going to punch me or yell at me, and I don't think we really think that, and we say it out loud, like, well, that's not going to happen. But why not just fill it out intentionally with, he's going to understand, he's going to be excited that he's, maybe he's been feeling the same way and he's excited that he's kind of free up, that he doesn't have, like, I can, if either way we're making up the future. Some of the future we make up is effective. Some of it makes us feel good. Some stories we make up don't make us feel good and are ineffective. And it's okay if you make up a good story that makes you feel good. You're at least better prepared to handle it. Maybe Jenell does that crazy. I can make a story about that. The story could be because I'm a bad leader, I'm no good, or this, mindset never works. And I knew, but well, that's not going to get me where I want to go. The CEO, and again, sometimes I'll just pretend, like, say, if you want to have $100 million business, like, what would, just say I'm there, what would $100 million business owner Mike, how would he respond? And if Jenell says, you're a dummy and I hate you and you couldn't lead your way out of a wet paper bag and no one on the team likes you, well, 10 grand a month, Mike, that might be enough to take him out for a week or a month. Or, maybe real fragile Mike might just close up shop, right? $100 million Mike wouldn't even hear it. He's just going to assume Jenell's crazy, right? Because I'm doing $100 million a year. What does this knucklehead know, right? But yeah, so it's so funny. We kind of think we'll have that belief set once we get wealthy, true, but we won't also have it until we won't get wealthy until we have it, also true. So if we're going to ask questions and make up stories about the future, let's just make up some that serve us as opposed to the ones that make us feel sick.
That's right. And the first step is always being able to interrupt that natural response cycle
100%.
in
100%.
order to be able to go that way, right? We have to choose a path, but we have to be able to choose the path. And I think it's a life skill, and we develop a muscle. Again, you watch these leaders of these amazing companies. You watch great visionaries, people that accomplish amazing things. Um, you don't even see them do it, but they're doing it probably every moment, right? Like they're calming their nervous system, they're regulating, they're doing the self-regulation in order to stay focused on that goal out there instead of letting this thing here pull them off, right? And so we just want to build the muscle, just build that muscle.
I think where you really, that's really all we're talking about is defining your focus. So if I'm going to have what I perceive might be a difficult conversation with an employee, and I'm focused solely on how that's going to make her feel or me feel, or how she'll make me feel, or how I'll perform, or what she'll think about me, the focus is really kind of selfish. If my focus is on the ultimate vision of the company, again, go back to Elon, he's trying to get the human race to Mars, for crying out loud. So stuff that would like it or don't like it, it's a big goal, right? And if that is your goal, you're when something, you get sued or somebody does this or does that, you just, well, my focus is Mars, right? You focus on all the mech that's happening. You get stuck in the mess. So the focus, the ability to control focus, I think is a very strong precursor to that ability to control state, which is really, if you can control your state and your focus, boy, oh boy, that's going to be hard to knock you down. All right, I'm going to give you a bonus question and we'll wrap it, Jenell. So I think you've done a really good job of dealing with it in the moment, but fortunately, I guess most of it's not that in the moment. It's the leading up to the moment, right? Like, I know I need to do this thing that to me is scary. And I know Jenell's been my operations manager for years, and I know she's not doing a great job, but if she leaves, I'm going to have fear, right? So I knew this 6 months ago, and I should have talked to Jenell 6 months ago, but I've chosen to live in dread for 6 months, right? And then maybe after I talk to her, it goes, well, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's all my fears, or many of my fears are realized. How do you deal with, and maybe it's the same thing with the focus, but I want to get your take. How do you deal with that lower grade panic for weeks or months up until this perceived scary conversation, and then in the fallout of the perceived, because now we've kind of got like, how do you deal with it in the moment? But what about leading up to the moment and after the moment?
So again, leading up, we're carrying that low level of anxiety with
Mhm.
us, right? Every time we put something off, we don't make the decision, we don't commit to an action, it's like we're adding a little bit more anxiety to that plate that we're carrying around.
Sure.
Well, our body deals with anxiety by giving us back pain or neck pain or headaches, or we get sick, right? So that anxiety is affecting our body. So, one tool would be like every day really focus on, again, what's the big goal, where am I heading? I'm headed to Mars. Take some big deep breaths as you take that in, right? So we're bringing that into the body. Okay, I'm focusing way out there, so that some of this low level anxiety can kind of go away, because now my focus isn't I'm avoiding it. It's no, 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 I'm going that way. And again, I'm going to take a couple of really good deep breaths as we keep that focus on the long term, because I think it embodies it. Literally, it puts it into our bodies, right?
Mhm.
To help lock in and hold that vision. The next thing is you're going into whatever that thing is. Go stand in Superman pose, Wonder Woman pose, whatever you want to call it, something that you just feel really, really strong in your body, and go do it, or go do that every single day. If you're feeling like, oh, I'm not confident when I go out and I talk to potential clients, it scares the crap out of me.
Mhm.
Go stand in Superman pose. Again, I dare you, put it on the clock. 2, 3 minutes is expert level. Go put it on the clock. Go stand in that pose before you go out and have those conversations, because you can't help but feel confident. You can't help but feel like I've got this, right? So maybe we need to do that every day, right?
And the
Maybe that
reverse is true, right? Like if you are typically downtrodden, head down, face down, shoulders down, 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 it's really hard to feel good about life. Here, I'll give for everyone listening, give you a bonus and we got to wrap it. Right now, I'm going to do it with you. So I'll look stupid in front of Jenell and anyone that can see me. Put your hands above your head. It is proven. And if you're doing it right now, you're proving it that you feel better. Like you just feel better. Like it's a weird thing. And it's funny in dancing or when people are excited, they naturally put their hands above their head because they feel good. And you're like, that's my response. Doing the wave, like humans do it naturally. We don't have to wait for a wave or for good music, although music's nice, that can help. But yeah, I just want to encourage you, you can change your state and it works both ways, right? So if we're usually crumpled is the word I like to think of, where just everything's down. Best way to uncrumple is hands up is the opposite of uncrumpled, right? If you're standing, tippy toes, chest out, do what you want to do. So just want to encourage you. Yeah, if you can control your focus and your physiology, boy, oh boy, that's going to keep you in the right state to make the decision that you need to make, CEO type decisions 80% of the time. And you think you've got a hard conversation coming? Put your hands up over your head right in the middle and see what happens. You'll get a laugh. Whatever the intensity is, it's gonna go down. And if someone goes, "What the hell are you doing?" You go, "I was embarrassed about firing and I felt weird, so just put my hands up to feel good. You want to come with me?" And that can take a difficult situation and actually could turn around and be like, "That was the best firing I've ever had." Like that actually worked out well. All right. Anything I missed, Janelle? You feel like we
no, I think it's just an amazing tool, and I encourage every, like I said, go put your hands up over your head for a minute. Go stand in Superman pose. Go take some really good deep breaths and see what that does. See how much easier it is to be in your CEO brain.
and try both ways. Give yourself 30 seconds to mope. I think we did this at an event once where everyone got to just go complain to everybody else for like a minute or two and just have, and then everyone got to go the opposite. So feel free to like crumple, spend 30 seconds doing that. You can even tell yourself how bad the world is, and then spend 5 minutes, hands up, chest out, whatever physically makes you feel good. And go, gosh, I can do that anytime. I God dang well, please. I can do it in an emergency. I can do it in non-emergency, perceived emergency, actual emergency. You've got another tool. Enjoy. See you next time. Hey, Cleaning Nation, if you dug the content you just got, we don't do any ads and I don't sell anything on this podcast, but if you would just subscribe, rate, and review, it would be huge and I'd be so appreciative. Not only is it going to help me, but you'll help other owners of cleaning companies across the world work less, make more, and get profitable. So if you appreciate the value we give, again, subscribe, rate, and review. It would mean the world to me. I'd really appreciate it, and we sure appreciate your time and attention.